Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., staring at the ceiling, watching the minutes slowly tick by, wondering why your body decided it was time to start the day when the world is still shrouded in darkness? It's a frustrating, often lonely experience, knowing you're not getting the deep, restorative sleep you truly need. And if you're over 60, it's far more common than you might think. Many of us just accept it as part of getting older, a simple fact of life as the years go by. But what if I told you that waking up before 4 a.m. isn't just a quirky phase of aging, but a powerful signal your body is sending you? A signal about your sleep quality, your energy levels, and even your overall health. This isn't just about feeling tired the next day. Chronic early awakenings can impact everything from your memory and mood to your immune system and long-term vitality. In this video, we're going to dive deep into why this happens to so many of us, what these pre-dawn awakenings truly mean for your well-being, and most importantly, practical, actionable steps you can take to reclaim your peaceful, full night's sleep. We'll uncover some surprising truths and simple adjustments that can make a world of difference, not just to your nights, but to your entire day. So, if you're tired of those pre-dawn awakenings and ready to finally get the rest you deserve, stick with me until the very end, because I promise you, there's something I'll share that will truly surprise you about how you can improve your nights. Starting tonight, let's start by unraveling the first big reason so many of us find ourselves wide awake when the world is still dark: the natural, yet profound shifts in our sleep architecture as we gracefully age. Think of your sleep like a beautiful symphony, with different movements and instruments playing their part throughout the night. When we were younger, that symphony had long, deep, resonant notes, those crucial periods of deep, restorative sleep. As we get older, however, that deep sleep, often called slow-wave sleep, gradually diminishes. It's like the powerful bass notes in our sleep symphony become softer, shorter, and sometimes almost disappear. We spend more time in lighter sleep stages, which are much more easily disrupted. This isn't a problem in itself, but it means that the slightest disturbance, a distant car, a shift in bed, or even a thought drifting into your mind, can be enough to nudge you awake. And once you're in a lighter stage, it's harder to sink back into the profound depths. Coupled with this, our bodies naturally produce less melatonin, the sleep hormone. As we age, melatonin is like the conductor of our sleep symphony, signaling to our body when it's time to wind down. With less of this natural conductor, our internal clock, our circadian rhythm, can become a little less precise, leading to fragmented sleep patterns and those unprompted early morning awakenings. What this means for your health is that while you might be in bed for 8 hours, you might only be getting 4 or 5 hours of truly restorative sleep. This chronic sleep debt can chip away at your cognitive function, making it harder to focus, recall memories, and even affect your mood. It can weaken your immune system, leaving you more vulnerable, and even impact your metabolism, contributing to things like weight gain or difficulty managing blood sugar. The actionable step here isn't to fight these natural changes, but to adapt to them. Understanding that your sleep is simply different now can reduce anxiety about it. Focus on creating an environment and routine that supports even lighter sleep, making it as uninterrupted as possible. This means a truly dark, quiet, and cool bedroom, and perhaps considering natural ways to support melatonin production, like regular exposure to natural light first thing in the morning. A gentle stroll in the morning sunshine can help reset that internal clock and signal to your body when it's truly daytime and when it should prepare for night. It's not about fighting nature, but working with it. Now, let's talk about a very common midnight visitor that often accompanies those lighter sleep stages: the insistent call of your bladder. It's called nocturia, and it's a leading cause of interrupted sleep for older adults. As we age, our bladder capacity naturally decreases, meaning it can't hold as much urine as it used to. Simultaneously, the production of antidiuretic hormone, which tells your kidneys to produce less urine at night, also declines. This double whammy means more frequent trips to the bathroom throughout the night. But it's not just about the bladder itself. Certain medications, like diuretics for blood pressure, can increase urine production. Underlying health conditions, such as diabetes or heart conditions, can also contribute to fluid retention and nighttime urination. For men, an enlarged prostate is a very common culprit. What does this mean for your sleep and health? Well, obviously, getting up multiple times a night breaks your sleep cycle. Each time you wake, even briefly, it pulls you out of those precious deeper sleep stages, if you've even managed to reach them. And once you're up, especially in the wee hours of the morning, it can be incredibly difficult to fall back asleep. Your mind starts to whir, the comfortable warmth of sleep dissipates, and suddenly, you're staring at the ceiling again, wishing you could drift back off. The health implications here extend beyond simple fatigue. Repeated nighttime awakenings increase your risk of falls, especially if you're groggy or disoriented in the dark. The cumulative effect of this fragmented sleep over weeks and months contributes to the same cognitive decline, immune suppression, and mood disturbances we discussed earlier. So, what can you do about it? Simple, yet effective. Adjustments can make a significant difference. First, be mindful of your fluid intake in the evening. Try to limit beverages, especially water, in the 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. This doesn't mean dehydrating yourself during the day, just timing your sips. Second, avoid diuretics in the late afternoon and evening, and this includes caffeine and alcohol. Both are known for their diuretic effects, speeding up fluid passage through your system. Third, for those with swollen ankles or legs, elevating your legs for an hour or two in the evening can help reduce fluid retention in your lower limbs, allowing your kidneys to process that fluid earlier in the day, rather than at night. If you suspect an enlarged prostate or another underlying medical condition, it's absolutely crucial to speak with your doctor. They can assess your situation, suggest specific treatments, or adjust medications that might be contributing. Addressing the root cause is key to reducing those disruptive midnight trips. These are powerful influences, aren't they? But the story of early morning waking doesn't end there. There are other crucial pieces to this puzzle, deeply tied to our daily routines and even what we consume. Moving beyond our internal clocks and bladder needs, let's turn our attention to what we do during the day and evening, starting with how our daily rhythms can accidentally sabotage our sleep, leading to those frustrating pre-dawn awakenings. One of the biggest culprits here is inconsistent sleep schedules. Our bodies thrive on routine, and our internal clock, or circadian rhythm, is no exception. If you go to bed at different times each night, or wake up at wildly varying hours, even on weekends, you're essentially confusing your body's natural rhythm. It doesn't know when it's truly time to wind down for a long, restorative sleep, or when it should be fully alert. This irregularity can lead to fragmented sleep, where you wake up frequently, and makes it incredibly difficult to get back to sleep once you've been jarred awake, especially in those early morning hours when your body might mistakenly think it's already nearing wake-up time. What this means for your health is that a confused internal clock leads to poor quality sleep, regardless of how many hours you spend in bed. This contributes to chronic fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and can even impact your metabolic health and mood over time. The simple yet powerful solution is to aim for a consistent sleep and wake-up time, even on weekends. Try to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same hour every day. This consistency sends clear signals to your body, reinforcing your natural sleep-wake cycle and making it much easier to fall asleep and stay asleep throughout the night. It's like setting your body's internal clock to a precise, reliable schedule. Closely related to routine is the often overlooked factor of insufficient daytime activity. We often hear about the benefits of exercise for physical health, but its impact on sleep is profound, especially for older adults. If your days lack sufficient physical activity and mental engagement, your body simply won't build up enough sleep pressure, that natural tired feeling that signals it's time for bed. You might feel a general fatigue, but without truly expending energy. Your body might not be ready for a deep, sustained sleep, making those early morning awakenings more likely. Think of it this way. Your body needs a reason to be tired. If you spend most of your day sedentary, your body won't feel the need for deep restoration. What this means is that while you might be physically resting, your mind could still be active, or your body might not be tired enough to reach those deep, restorative sleep stages. The actionable step here is to incorporate regular, moderate physical activity into your daily routine. This doesn't mean running a marathon. It could be a brisk walk, gentle gardening, swimming, or even light stretching and strength exercises. Aim for at least 30 minutes most days of the week, ideally in the morning or early afternoon. This builds healthy sleep pressure and helps regulate your circadian rhythm. Just be mindful of intense exercise too close to bedtime, as that can be stimulating rather than sleep-inducing. Next, let's address the hidden impact of our evening habits, specifically what we consume. Caffeine and alcohol are two common culprits. Most of us know caffeine is a stimulant, but its half-life can be surprisingly long. A cup of coffee at 4 p.m. might still be circulating in your system, keeping your brain alert well into the evening. Even if you don't feel wired, this can make it harder to fall asleep initially. Or more importantly, it can fragment your sleep throughout the night, leading to those unwanted early awakenings. Alcohol is often mistakenly seen as a sleep aid because it can initially make you feel drowsy. However, while it might help you fall asleep faster, it drastically disrupts the quality of your sleep in the latter half of the night. As your body metabolizes the alcohol, it causes rebound awakenings, often in the early morning hours, as well as suppressed REM sleep, which is crucial for cognitive function and emotional processing. What this means for your health is that even if you spend hours in bed, both caffeine and alcohol are robbing you of truly restful sleep. This leads to fatigue, irritability, and can even exacerbate existing health conditions. The actionable step is straightforward but requires discipline. Try to cut off caffeine by early afternoon, ideally before 2 p.m. For alcohol, consider avoiding it altogether in the evenings, or at least limiting your intake and allowing several hours before bedtime for your body to metabolize it. Even a single glass of wine too close to sleep can impact your deepest sleep cycles. Finally, consider the timing and composition of your evening meal. A heavy, rich, or spicy dinner too close to bedtime can lead to indigestion, heartburn, or general discomfort, all of which are natural enemies of sound sleep. Your body is busy digesting when it should be winding down, making it much harder to achieve deep, continuous sleep. This can easily lead to restless nights and those early morning wake-ups as your digestive system continues its work. What this means is that your body's energy is being diverted from rest and repair to digestion, creating internal activity when you need quiet. The actionable step: aim to eat your evening meal at least 2 to 3 hours before you plan to go to bed. Keep dinners lighter and avoid overly fatty, spicy, or acidic foods that might upset your stomach. Focus on easily digestible options, perhaps some lean protein and gentle carbohydrates. These lifestyle adjustments, while seemingly simple, collectively play a huge role in stabilizing your sleep patterns and reducing those unwanted pre-dawn awakenings. Now, let's explore perhaps the most elusive and challenging aspect of early morning waking: the power of your mind, and what to do when anxieties decide to pay a visit in the quiet hours before dawn. So, we've explored the biological shifts in our sleep as we age, the practical considerations of our bladders, and the profound impact of our daily routines and evening dietary choices. But there's another incredibly powerful factor that often contributes to those unwelcome 4 a.m. wake-ups. One that's often the hardest to control: the silent, yet relentless power of our own minds. I'm talking about anxiety, stress, and the dreaded pre-dawn worry loop. For many older adults, the early morning hours can become a fertile ground for worries to blossom. When the house is quiet, distractions fade, and the world is still asleep, our minds can sometimes decide it's the perfect time to review the day's events, replay past conversations, or, more often, catastrophize about future concerns, health worries, financial anxieties, family matters, or just a general sense of unease. This isn't just about feeling a bit stressed during the day. It's about cortisol, our stress hormone, which naturally peaks in the early morning to prepare us for waking up. If you're already prone to worry, this natural cortisol surge can act as a trigger, jolting you awake and then keeping your mind in an alert, problem-solving state, making it incredibly difficult to fall back asleep. What this means for your health is a vicious cycle. The stress of waking up early fuels more stress, which then makes it harder to sleep the next night. Chronically elevated stress hormones can have a cascade of negative effects on your body, impacting your heart health, immune system, and cognitive function. This persistent mental churn during the quiet hours of the morning deprives you of truly restorative rest, leaving you feeling emotionally and mentally drained throughout the day. So, what can you do when your mind decides to play tricks on you at 4 a.m.? The actionable steps here are about establishing a solid mental wind-down routine long before you even get into bed, and having a plan for those moments when you do wake up early with a racing mind. First, in the evening, create a buffer zone between your busy day and bedtime. This means avoiding stimulating activities like checking emails, watching intense news, or engaging in heated discussions in the hour or two before sleep. Instead, opt for calming activities, gentle reading a physical book, not a screen, listening to soft music, doing some light stretching, or even a warm bath. This signals to your brain that it's time to shift gears from active to rest. Second, consider incorporating a gratitude journal into your evening routine before bed. Jot down 3 things you're grateful for from the day, no matter how small. This practice helps to reframe your mindset towards positive thoughts and can reduce the likelihood of negative thought patterns taking root as you try to sleep. Third, if you do wake up with worries, resist the urge to immediately check the clock. Obsessing over the time only increases anxiety. If you find yourself wide awake for more than 20 minutes and your mind is racing, get out of bed. Staying in bed tossing and turning only reinforces the idea that your bed is a place for stress, not for sleep. Go to another room. Keep the lights dim, and engage in a calming activity. This could be reading a very dull book, listening to a peaceful podcast, or quiet, meditative music, or practicing a few minutes of deep breathing exercises. The key is to avoid anything stimulating. No screens, no bright lights, no trying to solve your problems. The goal is to bore yourself back to sleep. Return to bed only when you genuinely feel sleepy again. These strategies, focused on managing your mind, are incredibly powerful. They help you regain a sense of control over your sleep and your reaction to those early morning awakenings. You're not fighting against an unstoppable force. You're gently guiding your mind back to a state of calm. So, we've explored the biological shifts, daily habits, evening choices, and even the power of our minds. But what does all of this really mean for your long-term health? And what's that surprising thing I mentioned earlier that can truly change your nights? We've covered a lot, haven't we? We've seen how those pre-dawn wake-ups aren't just a normal aging, but a complex interplay of factors: our evolving sleep cycles, subtle bladder signals, the rhythms of our daytime routines, the surprising impact of our evening indulgences, and the quiet anxieties that can emerge in the dark. Understanding why this happens is the crucial first step. It shifts early morning waking from a frustrating mystery to a solvable puzzle. The truth is, chronic sleep deprivation, whether from difficulty falling asleep or those persistent early awakenings, has profound implications for your overall health and vitality as you age. It's not just about feeling tired. It can significantly impair your cognitive function, making memory lapses more frequent and focus more challenging. It weakens your immune system, leaving you more susceptible to illness. It contributes to mood disturbances like irritability and depression, and can even increase your risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. Ultimately, fragmented sleep reduces your overall quality of life and can increase your risk of falls due to fatigue and poor concentration. Restorative sleep isn't a luxury, it's a fundamental pillar of healthy aging, as vital as good nutrition and physical activity. Now, for the surprising truth I promised you earlier. It's not a complicated new gadget, a rare herb, or a revolutionary pill. The real secret weapon, the surprising truth about tackling those 4 a.m. wake-ups, is the profound power of understanding that your early morning wake-up isn't necessarily a failure, but an opportunity. And the greatest secret lies in how you react to it. Combined with the profound impact of implementing incredibly simple, Consistent rituals that naturally nudge your body back into rhythm. The biggest problem with waking up at 4 a.m. is often not the waking itself, but the anxiety and frustration that immediately flood in. We panic, we check the clock, we start doing mental math of how little sleep we've gotten, and this cycle of worry then ensures we stay awake. The surprising truth is that you can reclaim those early hours by retraining your reaction. Here's the heart of it. If you wake up, don't immediately look at the time. Instead, take a few deep, calming breaths. Acknowledge that you're awake, but don't catastrophize. If after about 15 to 20 minutes you're still wide awake and your mind is buzzing, the surprising and most effective action is to get out of bed. Yes, you heard me right. Get out of bed. Your bed should be a sanctuary for sleep, not a battleground for wakefulness. Go to another room. Keep the lighting dim. Avoid bright screens. And do something genuinely unstimulating. Read a few pages of a truly boring book. Listen to some very quiet, gentle music. Or just sit quietly and practice deep, slow breathing. The goal isn't to force yourself back to sleep, but to create an environment where sleep can naturally return. When you feel a genuine wave of drowsiness, and only then, return to bed. This consistent ritual teaches your brain that the bed is for sleeping, and that waking up early isn't the end of the world, but an opportunity to reset and try again. This non-anxious, gentle approach is what truly empowers you. It's recognizing that even if you wake up, what you do next dictates your entire day and your subsequent night's sleep. Remember, tackling early morning waking isn't about achieving sleep perfection every single night. It's about progress, not perfection, even small, consistent changes. Whether it's adjusting your evening habits, ensuring a consistent sleep schedule, getting more daytime activity, managing your fluid intake, or developing a calm response to those early awakenings can gradually shift your body's rhythm, making those pre-dawn awakenings less frequent, less prolonged, and far less distressing. You've lived a full, rich life, and you absolutely deserve truly peaceful, restorative nights. I'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced these early morning wake-ups? What has helped you the most in getting back to sleep? Or in coping with them? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights and tips could provide comfort and practical help to someone else who's struggling. If you found this video helpful, if it offered you a new perspective or some useful advice, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this information reach more people who need it. And consider subscribing to my channel. We're building a supportive community here, dedicated to exploring how we can all live our best, most vibrant lives at every age, with health, energy, and yes, truly restful sleep. Because every day is a gift, and every night is an opportunity to recharge and prepare for another beautiful day. Let's embrace the journey of aging with wisdom, health, and truly restorative sleep. Live your best life at every age, starting tonight.